Hello, and welcome to another episode of Social Workers Rise. It is your host, Catherine here. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 5 high paying social work careers. I really want to give you the skills and the knowledge that you need to maximize your earning potential in 2025. So, this is, again, full disclosure, this is according to ChatGPT because ChatGPT is all knowing. And I was just curious as far as what AI saw as the trends and as the top paying fields for social workers, because we do get into this field for purpose and we want to give back and we want to help others. However, we also have bills to pay and we need to be focused on our own financial stability as well. So, some of the highest paying social work career paths do often involve specialized skills, some advanced degrees or certificates or leadership roles. So, full disclosure, you may have to do some investment in yourself in order to maximize on these skills, but not necessarily, right? Let's dive in. Let's talk about it. So, get ready to take some notes. We are going to dive into these areas. And the cool thing is your girl, I have already done episodes on all of these areas. So, if you hear an area and you want to know more about it, go back to the episode that I'm going to mention and listen to it. Reach out to the guest if there is one. If it's not, reach out to me and I am happy to provide you with additional information and resources and directions if you need that. But hopefully, this is going to be enough to get you started on your own. So, number one, you ready for this? Number one is medical social work, medical, healthcare, hospitals, healthcare administration. So this salary is going to be anywhere between 60 to 90 per year and will go up especially if you're in administration or if you're in a highly specialized area. So just to know, median salary 60 to 90. And this is also going to depend on your state and where you live, right? So essentially what this includes is working in hospitals, healthcare settings, nursing homes, for insurance companies. I know I worked for a health insurance company and they hired a lot of social workers. So something to look into. Also, you can look into long-term care planning. So if you're interested in learning more about these, some of the past episodes that I've done, episode 60 on medical social work behind the scenes, or episode 129, how to get started in medical social work. These are both helpful if you don't have experience in medical social work, but you're looking to make that transition. So that's number one. Number two, clinical social worker. So the median salary for the clinical social worker, this is with your LCSW, is between 55 to 85 or above, right? So I know social workers who are making well over 100,000 per year as a therapist, as a clinical social worker. So again, these are going to depend on your location and what you're specifically doing, right? So essentially, if you're looking to do this, you'd be looking into providing therapy and counseling services for individuals, families, or groups. Those of you in private practice or specializing in a high demand area, listen up, high demand area like trauma, substance abuse, or child therapy will often earn more. So if any of those areas interest you, go for it. Get some certification, get some extra training, get a mentor, get involved, start networking, see how you can maximize this area for you. If you want to learn more about being a clinical social worker, some past episodes that I've done is episode 94, the pros and cons of licensing, episode 92, CBT with kids, episode 107, how to prepare for clinical supervision. Okay. Number three is corporate social work administrator or director. So as a leader, you can be looking at a median salary between 70 to 120,000 per year or up. Again, depending on your location and your role and the type of agency, right? So essentially, these professionals oversee social work departments or nonprofit organizations. They manage budgets, programs, and teams and make decisions that impact service delivery. These include roles within corporate organizations as well. So you can look for roles such as corporate social responsibility manager or community development specialist. I will say, if you are looking at organizations that hire social workers and to oversee social workers, it is a bonus if you have your LCSW, but not necessarily. The episode on corporate social work, episode 103, we talk about how you don't have to be licensed to do corporate social work. So you can come out straight with your BSW, with your MSW, and if you have ways to market these skills, then that is amazing, right? Also, networking, if you know people in these areas, that is another great way of getting your foot in the door. Some past episodes to go back and listen to: episode 103 about corporate social work, episode 74, macro social work, episode 131, how to get started in macro social work. Number 4 is school social worker. So again, depending on your location and licensing and all that fun stuff, the median salary that you're looking at is 50 to 80,000. I will say this is low. I'm based in California, and I know school social workers today in 2024 who are making over 100,000 a year. So just take these salaries with a grain of salt as a place to kind of start, right? So as a school social worker, you're going to be supporting students' emotional, social, and academic needs. School social workers collaborate with educators and families, and those working in affluent districts or administrative roles often earn higher salaries. Just an FYI from ChatGPT. Some areas or some previous podcast episodes to look into: episode 64, school social work; episode 91, tips for school social work interviews; episode 130, again about school social work; and episode 76, social work in higher education. Yes, there are jobs for social workers at colleges, so definitely look into those too. And number five is an interesting one. It's a travel social worker. So the salary is really going to depend on a lot of factors, again, like location, specialization, licensure, how desperately do they need you. So there's 2 main categories for travel social workers. And I will say, you do generally have to have experience in these fields before an agency will just send you out. Because a lot of times with these roles, as a travel social worker, you're filling in gaps for organizations that are understaffed. So these organizations are not going to be training you typically, right? They might train you on systems or whatever, but they expect you to come in with this skill set already so that you can just hit the ground running, because they don't have the staffing a lot of times to be training you. That's why a lot of the travel social work roles that you'll see do ask and require a clinical license, right? So the 2 main areas that people or agencies hire travel social workers for are for medical social work and school social work. And for both of these, you can look at about $1,500 up to $2,500 per week. That's a lot. This translates into an annual salary of about $78,000 to $130,000 per year. This is assuming if you do this all year. A lot of times, the other caveat with travel social work is that they will be short-term assignments, meaning 3 to 8 weeks, right? So if you are up for this, definitely check it out. I did a whole episode on this, episode 70, about travel social work. I know there's Facebook groups out there if you are looking to learn more about this area. So those are the top 5. And then here's just some tips, right? Some ways that you might want to consider that might increase your earning potential and might make it easier for you to get hired. 1, if you have an advanced degree like your MSW or your clinical license. A lot of times doors will fly open once you get licensed as a clinical social worker, right? Number 2 is you want to have some expertise in these high demand areas. So if you need additional training or you just need to get your foot in the door somewhere, and these are kind of far off goals that you have, awesome. Awesome. Because these are all areas that are not going anywhere anytime soon. So you got some time. But if you want to look into specializations such as trauma informed care, healthcare trainings, medical social work, or administration or macro, definitely consider those areas to make yourself more marketable. Also, too, location will matter as far as pay. So if you're working in urban areas in states like California, New York, and Massachusetts, a lot of times those states will pay you higher than states outside of those. So I hope this was helpful. If this inspired you or gave you new ideas or brought up somebody to your memory that you think, hey, this person might really like it, open up your phone, open up the app, and text that person this episode. We are not about gatekeeping of information around here. We want to share freely. If you have other questions or want to reach out to me, please let me know. This is going to be the last episode of 2024. And man, this year has been amazing. And I want to thank you personally for just being here and for getting to know each other and for reaching out. If you want to stay in the loop about what's happening in the world of Social Workers Rise, you can join the email list. The link is there in the show notes. Immediately, I will send you a list of 100 jobs that you can do as an MSW. So if you are looking to expand your career, definitely hit me up. Let me know. Let me know how I can support you. If you're looking for courses to develop your clinical skills, let me know. I got you covered. And with that, I hope you have a great new year. I hope your 2024 was amazing. And I wish you all the peace and prosperity for 2025. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can stay connected and get updates from the podcast coming in 2025. With that, Happy New Year. Bye.